Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively here to talk about the Wednesday morning show and also diving into the rain that we're already starting to see moving in from Brenham, Navasota, moving into Livingston and the Woodville region right now, starting to approach the Lakes region and Jasper County as of right now. This is moderate to somewhat kind of heavy rain. This is a pretty large band, but we're going to continue to see that coverage really pick up later this afternoon into the evening time, bringing 60 to 70% coverage. Half an inch of rain can be possible for a good portion of the region, but some of these isolated pockets, an inch to possibly 2 inches of rain can be possible. A lot of this is well north of the I-10 corridor, mainly again from Conroe, Livingston to Jasper right now this morning. Thanks to our sponsor of Switch Electric. You can see the temperatures. It's still pretty cold across the United States. 26 in Salt Lake City, 22 in Denver, 34 degrees in Oklahoma City. That doesn't seem too far away, right? But half of Texas and into Louisiana is somewhat warmer this morning. We're a lot warmer than we have been the last couple of mornings, mainly into the 50s, already into the 60s across the I-10 corridor and down towards the coast. Low 50s to mid 50s far to the north, but Houston already at 63 degrees. Beaumont 59, Lake Charles 57, Lafayette at 56, and then down towards the coast like Galveston and southwest Louisiana, again already into the upper 50s to low 60s this morning, thanks to Do Good Credit Union. You can see here's our next disturbance that's kind of swinging through right now. This is what's bringing the rain opportunity today at 60 to 70% coverage, making the rain already in parts of central Texas, mainly into East Texas right now. We'll see that coverage kind of pick up later on this afternoon, especially this evening, and it'll kind of die down overnight tonight, but we still expect some low coverage Thursday into Friday, and then it really picks up this weekend. Outdoor and construction forecast for today. It's really not the greatest day in the world, not going to win any awards. We've got the coverage really kind of picking up throughout the day, 30 to 40% coverage this morning between 8 a.m. to lunch. By the time we get to lunch and to the afternoon, we start out to that 50% coverage, and then closer to 3-4 p.m. That's when we jump up to 70 to 80% coverage across the region. So not the best construction forecast for today. We're going to be dealing with some hit or miss rain in the morning and then really picks up this afternoon. So keep that in mind with anything outdoor and construction wise. Sponsored by Modern Concrete and Materials. You can see, looking at the Neutron Electrical Services, showing us the upper level flow for today. Here's that upper level disturbance that's moving through. If we can put this in motion, you can see this is giving us rain coverage today, 70 to 80% coverage. As we get into Thursday, still have some small rain chances, but our next story is going to be the strong cold front that comes in this Friday into Saturday. We're going to see that transition into sleet and freezing rain for parts of the central Texas and north Texas towards Dallas and Fort Worth coming up Friday evening into Friday night. And then you can really see that it just continues of rounds of wintry mix across a large portion of Texas. So once we get into Saturday morning, some freezing rain potential is definitely there for our northern regions. And then throughout the day, we'll see that colder air finally getting towards the I-10 and coast. That means freezing rain and sleet is likely all across the region coming up Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and this will last into Sunday morning. By Sunday afternoon, this all should kind of tampering off, moving eastward, and then really the story is on the cold temperatures that will be sticking around the rest of the weekend and into early next week. If we get into Monday, that will likely be our coldest morning, Monday, and possibly again on Tuesday. Around the whole region, we likely will see several areas into the upper teens far to the north, and the low to mid-20s likely all across the I-10 corridor coming up. Let's go back real quick. Sorry about that. Look at the rainfall outlook for today. So we know we've got 80% coverage today, a little bit of coverage coming up tomorrow, 20 to 30% coverage on Thursday. And then we start picking up as that strong cold front comes in on Friday. The 70% coverage is mainly into the evening time hours. And then we jump up to 80 to 90% coverage coming up on Saturday into late Sunday morning at the same time that our temperatures will be dropping throughout the day on Saturday, getting to freezing. So that 80 to 90% coverage coming up on Saturday into Sunday likely will be freezing rain and sleet. Futurecast for today, we know we've got the rain kind of off and on. It's going to pick up later on this afternoon. Here we are at 1 p.m., kind of moving out of the Houston metro area, moving into Liberty and Chambers County. Continues to move eastbound, getting into Beaumont later on this afternoon. Pretty good coverage right now. I mean, you can see 1 to 2 inches of rain can be possible in some of these isolated areas. Good portion is just going to be dealing with a half inch. Later on this evening, this moves eastward, getting into southwest Louisiana, and it will continue moving eastward. Later on tonight, still have some lingering showers. And as we get into Thursday morning, there's that 10 to 20% coverage for some lingering showers. And the main thing that we're going to continue to see is the next couple of days is just lots of cloud cover. And then as we get into Thursday, again, just 10 to 20% coverage for some lingering showers is what we're expecting. But the big story is going to be the cold, the winter storm that is going to be brewing for a large portion of the United States into the southern plains, down here in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way to Mississippi and Alabama as well too. Traveling is going to be an issue this weekend. Just not too sure just yet here locally on the big impacts we'll have. There's that cold blast coming south, same time with lots of moisture here into the state of Texas. Look at all the snow in Oklahoma. It's not going to be impossible that 5 to maybe 10 inches of snow in parts of Oklahoma, and that snowpack will help get us pretty chilly coming up Sunday and Monday. We start seeing that the state of Texas and then northern Louisiana transitions into the sleet and freezing rain coming up by Friday evening. By the time we get into Saturday morning, this freezing rain could be approaching just north of the Houston Metro, College Station, Conroe, all the way into Jasper, DeRidder, Newton. These areas could see freezing rain already by Saturday morning. But Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Lake Charles will be on the edge of it. Should be just cold rain coming up Saturday morning. Could try to transition into freezing rain, but it should just be cold rain. By the time we get to Saturday afternoon, we really start seeing those temperatures all across the board getting near or below freezing. That means freezing rain and sleet definitely will increase all across the region, all the way down towards the coast, coming up Saturday afternoon, especially by Saturday evening into Saturday night and lasting through Sunday morning. And by Sunday late morning into Sunday afternoon, the moisture and all of this will continue moving eastward, and this should kind of tamper off. So the majority of our region, the potential for freezing rain and sleet mainly will be Saturday p.m. into Sunday late morning. But our northern areas like Woodlands, Livingston, Jasper, DeRidder, these areas can see that freezing rain and sleet potential coming up as early as Saturday morning. Here we are with the afternoon highs today with that 70 to 80% coverage, mainly into the upper 60s across the board. Some areas can get close to that 70-degree mark just southwest of Houston. This is thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. Overnight tonight, slightly warmer than when it has been, right? Mainly into the 50s and 60s across the board. I-10 will mainly into be the upper 50s to low 60s, and then far to the north, you might get lucky and get into the 49 near St. Augustine, but mainly into the low to mid 50s far to the north. Big story is going to be the cold weather Sunday morning. Look at this, upper teens far to the north along I-10 corridor, mainly into the low to mid 20s. Down towards the coast, upper 20s to low to mid 30s. Definitely likely coming up on Sunday morning, and that's not the coldest morning. That's actually going to be on Monday. We likely will see several areas in inland, including like Liberty and Conroe, College Station, Livingston, Lufkin, Jasper, Newton. Upper teens are definitely likely. 17, 18 degrees can't be ruled out, because if you see Beaumont, Houston, and Lake Charles likely will be at 20 degrees coming up on Monday morning. That's a hard freeze right there. Again, here we are. We've got the rain coverage today, 80% coverage, drop down a little bit on Thursday. Strong cold front comes in late Friday into Saturday, and then we start talking about the potential for a winter storm Saturday into Sunday morning. Could see some freezing rain kind of piling up a little bit. We think the impacts will be worse to the north versus along I-10, but we'll continue to keep watching this. And then the big story will be the cold temperatures, especially on Sunday, Monday. And look at the lows Monday morning into Tuesday morning, likely in the upper teens to low 20s. Southwest Louisiana, big story. Cold front on Friday into Saturday. Freezing rain and sleet potential comes into the region, mainly Saturday p.m. through Sunday late morning. And then some cold air moves into our region. So this is a really, really good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solution app. This will keep you updated not only on the rain today, but the big story for that strong cold front and the Arctic blast this weekend. We will start showing the ice accumulation totals coming up really on Thursday, because that means that we're starting to feel a lot more confident. We're 2-3 days out from this event, so we'll start showing a little bit more on what type of impacts to expect as we get into Thursday, but we're going to continue to keep you updated with what we know. Not a lot has changed just yet. We know that freezing rain potential is there for our northern areas coming up Saturday morning, but all across the board down to I-10 and the coast, it increases by Saturday p.m. into early Sunday morning. So thanks for tuning in to the Wednesday morning show. We'll have lots of updates throughout the day on Facebook, YouTube, and especially on app. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Next video update will be with Mr. Lucas Boswick this evening. We also do want to say that Friday afternoon, Friday evening, probably around 5, 6, 7 p.m., we'll lock in a time. But we will do a live show, do it for maybe an hour or two, talking about what the potential will be, any questions anybody would like to ask. We will sit down and work all that out together, and that will be on Friday evening, somewhere between 5, 6, 7 p.m. We'll have a post on what time that will be. So thanks for tuning into the Wednesday morning show. We'll have more. Have a good Wednesday. Stay dry if you can.